Feeling unheard? Many believe respect comes from shouting, but true power lies in precise words. Marcus Aurelius knew that calm, deliberate communication commands respect. Today we'll unveil 7 Stoic phrases that will make anyone listen. No shouting needed. Stay until the end, because phrase number 7 will blow your mind. Let's dive in. Phrase number 1. I understand your perspective, and while I appreciate it, I hold a different view. This phrase is a masterclass in respectful disagreement. It achieves 2 critical things simultaneously. It acknowledges and validates the other person's viewpoint, showing you've listened and value their input. This initial validation often disarms potential defensiveness, creating an opening for genuine engagement. However, the second part of the phrase, I hold a different view, is delivered with unwavering firmness, establishing a clear boundary and making it unequivocally clear that your position is distinct and independently formed. You are not challenging their right to hold an opinion. You are simply asserting your own with calm conviction. Consider a scenario. You're in a team meeting and a colleague proposes an idea that, based on your experience or data, you believe is flawed or impractical. Instead of immediately countering with that's wrong, or silently fuming, you calmly meet their gaze and articulate, I understand your perspective, and while I appreciate it, I hold a different view. In that precise moment, you accomplish several crucial objectives. You've communicated that you've genuinely processed their input, fostering a sense of being heard. You've also clearly delineated your own intellectual territory, demonstrating that your judgment is not swayed by groupthink or external pressure. This is a direct application of Stoic principles, particularly the concept of distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not. You cannot control another person's opinion or their initial proposal, but you can absolutely control your response and the clarity with which you express your own considered judgment. The power of this phrase extends beyond the immediate interaction. It cultivates an image of someone who is thoughtful, discerning, and unafraid to stand their ground, all without resorting to aggressive or confrontational tactics. It's about demonstrating intellectual autonomy without arrogance. The magic of this approach is its ability to sidestep the trap of direct confrontation, which often escalates into unproductive arguments. Instead, it subtly plants a seed of respect in the mind of the person hearing it. They may not agree with your differing view immediately, but they will undoubtedly respect your ability to articulate it calmly and clearly without seeking to diminish theirs. This phrase embodies the Stoic ideal of separating emotion from rational judgment. You don't need to prove your superior intelligence. You merely need to make it abundantly clear that your assessment is independent and well-considered. It's a quiet yet incredibly potent declaration of intellectual integrity that compels respect through its sheer composure. Phrase number 2. I find that approach/comment to be inappropriate. This phrase is a precision tool for immediately halting and redirecting any form of disrespectful or unacceptable behavior. It is remarkably effective due to its directness and its lack of explanatory clutter. When delivered with a calm, unwavering tone, it leaves little room for ambiguity or argument, clearly establishing your boundaries and communicating that certain lines will not be crossed. This phrase serves as a powerful shield, protecting your personal dignity and the integrity of the interaction. Consider this common situation. You're engaged in a conversation and someone interjects with an offensive remark, an inappropriate joke, or a comment that crosses a boundary of professional or personal decorum. The instinct might be to ignore it, to laugh uncomfortably, or to engage in a lengthy explanation of why it was wrong. However, these responses often inadvertently validate the offensive behavior or draw you into an unproductive argument. Instead, by maintaining eye contact and stating with serene firmness, I find that approach/comment to be inappropriate, you instantly shift the dynamic. This simple, declarative statement forces the other person to pause and reevaluate their actions. It communicates unequivocally that you are not willing to passively accept or validate behavior that you deem disrespectful or out of line. This phrase resonates deeply with Stoic philosophy, particularly the emphasis on personal dignity and self-respect. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, wisely observed that he who respects himself will be respected by others. This phrase is a direct, yet non-aggressive, manifestation of that self-respect. It doesn't require you to preach, to lecture, or to get emotionally entangled. It simply states a fact about your perception and your boundary. By using it with serenity, you are demonstrating a profound level of self-awareness and self-control. You are showing that you value your own peace and dignity enough to assert it clearly without needing to descend into an argument or a justification of your feelings. The power of this phrase lies in its economy of words and its unshakable resolve. It's a quiet thunderclap that signals the immediate cessation of unacceptable conduct, compelling the other person to adjust their behavior if they wish to continue engaging with you in a respectful manner. It's a testament to the Stoic belief that true strength comes not from outward aggression, but from an inner fortitude that upholds one's values with unwavering calm. Phrase number 3. Let's revisit this conversation when we can both maintain a respectful tone. This phrase is a masterstroke in de-escalation and a powerful assertion of control over the dynamics of a challenging conversation. It doesn't merely halt a toxic interaction, it strategically shifts the burden of responsibility onto the other party, effectively setting the terms for any future dialogue. You are not retreating from the conversation, rather, you are establishing the essential ground rules for respectful engagement. This phrase embodies the Stoic principle of focusing on what is within your control, your own response and the conditions under which you will engage. Imagine a scenario where a conversation has devolved into hostility, with the other person speaking aggressively, interrupting you repeatedly, or raising their voice in anger. Your natural inclination might be to match their intensity, to defend yourself vociferously, or to simply shut down. However, these reactions often only serve to fuel the fire or empower the aggressive party. Instead, take a deliberate breath, maintain your composure, and with an even, calm voice state, "Let's revisit this conversation when we can both maintain a respectful tone." In that precise moment, a profound shift occurs. You have effectively broken the cycle of negativity and created an immediate pause. The other person is now compelled to confront their own behavior, as you have made it unequivocally clear that you will not participate in an interaction devoid of respect. You have, in essence, handed them the responsibility for elevating the discussion. From a Stoic perspective, this is a brilliant display of self-mastery. Epictetus, a foundational Stoic thinker, taught that while we cannot control the actions or emotional outbursts of others, we possess absolute control over our own responses. This phrase is a prime example of exercising that control. Your response not only safeguards your own inner peace and emotional well-being, but also subtly educates the other person on the standards of conduct you expect. The impact of this phrase is often immediate and remarkably potent. The first time you deploy it, you are likely to observe an abrupt silence, a moment of startled introspection from the other party. Curiously, this pause is often followed by a heightened level of attention to your subsequent words, as you have demonstrated a formidable inner strength and an unwillingness to be dragged into unproductive chaos. This phrase is not about avoiding conflict. It's about elevating the conflict to a more productive, respectful plane, thereby compelling true respect through your unwavering commitment to dignified interaction. Phrase number 4. I've chosen not to invest further energy in this discussion. This phrase acts as an elegant yet firm closure, signaling a deliberate decision to withdraw from a conversation that has ceased to be productive or valuable. It is akin to locking a door, not of fear or avoidance, but out of a conscious choice to conserve your valuable energy and attention. This phrase is a potent declaration of self-worth and a profound application of Stoic principles regarding the allocation of one's resources, particularly one's mental and emotional faculties. It's not about fleeing a situation, it's about judiciously choosing where to focus your finite attention. Consider a scenario where you find yourself entangled in an argument with someone who seems intent only on provoking you, scoring rhetorical points, or winning for the sake of their ego, rather than seeking genuine understanding or resolution. You can feel the discussion spiraling, becoming increasingly tangled and leading nowhere productive. Continuing to engage in such an exchange is not only frustrating, but also a wasteful expenditure of your emotional and intellectual resources. At such a juncture, instead of becoming exasperated or attempting to force a resolution, you calmly look at the other person and state, "I've chosen not to invest further energy in this discussion." With these carefully selected words, you instantly reclaim control of the situation. You put an end to the escalating tension, effectively withdrawing your participation from a futile endeavor. More importantly, you demonstrate a profound understanding that your inner peace and mental clarity are more valuable than having the final word in a fruitless debate. Now, Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, famously wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This phrase is the modern, practical application of that profound Stoic principle. By choosing not to engage in the same unproductive or emotionally charged game, you elevate yourself above the fray. You refuse to be drawn into the negativity, and in doing so, you paradoxically become stronger and more respected in the eyes of others. This phrase communicates a clear message. Your time and energy are precious, and you will not squander them on interactions that yield no positive outcome. It's a quiet act of self-preservation that, by its very nature, commands respect because it demonstrates a clear sense of priorities and an unshakable commitment to your own well-being, aligning perfectly with Stoic pursuit of tranquility and inner harmony. Phrase number 5. That is your opinion, and I respect your right to hold it, but I do not share it. This phrase is a masterful blend of courtesy and unwavering assertiveness, a testament to the Stoic emphasis on maintaining one's intellectual integrity while still fostering harmonious relationships. It simultaneously acknowledges and validates the other person's perspective, demonstrating respect for their autonomy while unequivocally asserting your own distinct point of view. It achieves this delicate balance without requiring you to seek permission for your opinion or initiating an unnecessary conflict. This phrase is a powerful tool for maintaining both independence of thought and respectful coexistence. Imagine a situation where a friend, a colleague, or even a family member is insistent on convincing you of something you genuinely do not believe or accept. They might be passionately advocating for a particular political stance, a lifestyle choice, or an interpretation of events that diverges significantly from your own. Instead of getting drawn into a point-by-point argument, which can often strain relationships and lead to unproductive debates, you can respond calmly and firmly, "That is your opinion, and I respect your right to hold it, but I do not share it." With this concise yet potent statement, you achieve several critical objectives. You effectively close the door to further pressure or attempts at persuasion, clearly delineating the boundary of your agreement. At the same time, you maintain the integrity of the relationship by explicitly stating your respect for their viewpoint, even if you don't personally align with it. Crucially, you affirm your intellectual independence, reinforcing that your thoughts and beliefs are your own, not subject to external influence or coercion. Seneca, ever the advocate for personal freedom, warned that being a slave to the opinions of others is the worst of prisons. This phrase serves as a powerful key to escaping that invisible confinement. It reminds both yourself and the other person that genuine respect does not necessitate agreement. You can hold someone in high regard and value their presence in your life without compromising your own judgment or convictions. This phrase is an embodiment of Stoic wisdom, demonstrating that true strength lies not in conforming to external pressures, but in the calm, rational assertion of one's authentic self. It fosters respect not by demanding it, but by projecting an unshakable sense of self-assurance and intellectual honesty, compelling others to acknowledge your autonomy while maintaining a civil and respectful interaction. Phrase number 6. I will consider what you've said. The seemingly simple phrase carries immense Stoic power, offering a graceful exit from an immediate demand for agreement or a definitive response, while simultaneously conveying a thoughtful and deliberate approach. It's a quiet assertion of your right to process information on your own terms without succumbing to external pressure or hasty judgment. This phrase embodies the Stoic virtue of prudence and the practice of measured reflection before action. It signals that you are not easily swayed, but rather a person who values careful consideration. Imagine a scenario where a superior, a peer, or even a persistent salesperson is pushing for an immediate decision or agreement on a matter that requires careful thought, research, or simply time for internal processing. The pressure to respond instantly can be intense, often leading to rushed decisions or uncomfortable concessions. Instead of feeling compelled to agree, disagree, or offer an immediate detailed rebuttal, you can calmly and thoughtfully state, I will consider what you've said. This phrase achieves several crucial objectives. It acknowledges that you've heard their input, preventing them from feeling ignored. More importantly, it buys you valuable time and space, clearly communicating that your response will be a product of deliberate thought, not impulsive reaction. You are not rejecting their input, nor are you blindly accepting it. You are simply stating that you will engage with it on your own terms when you are ready. This aligns perfectly with the Stoic emphasis on reasoned judgment and avoiding rashness. Marcus Aurelius frequently wrote about the importance of deliberation and not being swept away by first impressions. By stating you will consider what has been said, you are demonstrating a commitment to this very principle. You are showing that you value the process of internal evaluation rather than merely reacting to external stimuli. This approach, by its very nature, commands respect. It positions you as someone who is not easily pressured, who values wisdom over speed, and whose eventual decisions will be well-founded. It communicates an underlying confidence in your own judgment, signaling that you trust your ability to weigh information and arrive at a considered conclusion. In a world often characterized by instant gratification and snap judgments, the willingness to take time for reflection is a powerful, respect-inducing trait. This phrase is a subtle yet profound declaration of your intellectual autonomy and your commitment to Stoic wisdom in action. Phrase number 7. My actions will reflect my priorities. This phrase is a powerful, forward-looking declaration that quietly yet firmly establishes your boundaries and commitment to your core values, without needing to justify or explain yourself extensively. It's a statement that transcends mere words, hinting at an unwavering resolve that will manifest through your conduct. This phrase embodies the Stoic philosophy of living in accordance with virtue and prioritizing what truly matters, even when faced with external pressures or conflicting demands. It communicates that your life is guided by a clear internal compass, and your decisions are not arbitrary but purposeful. Consider a situation where you are being pressured to take on additional responsibilities that conflict with existing commitments, or to engage in activities that do not align with your personal or professional values. Explaining every detail of your time constraints or ethical objections can often lead to lengthy debates or feelings of guilt. Instead of getting bogged down in specifics, you can calmly state, "My actions will reflect my priorities." This phrase achieves several critical outcomes. It avoids a direct no while still firmly establishing a boundary. It communicates that your decisions are not based on whims, but on a considered framework of what you deem most important. More importantly, it shifts the focus from external demands to your internal commitment, signaling that your behavior is internally driven, not externally manipulated. This phrase resonates deeply with the Stoic emphasis on living a virtuous life, where one's actions are consistent with one's principles. Epictetus often spoke about the importance of aligning one's proheuresis, moral purpose or will, with one's actions. By stating that your actions will reflect your priorities, you are asserting that your moral compass is guiding your choices, and you are not easily swayed from your chosen path. This approach, by its very nature, commands respect because it projects an image of integrity, self-awareness, and unshakable conviction. It demonstrates that you are a person of principle whose decisions are rooted in a clear understanding of what truly matters. In a world that often demands conformity or compromise, the willingness to let your actions speak for your values is a profound act of self-assertion that compels respect through its quiet strength and undeniable authenticity. This phrase is a powerful reminder that true respect is earned not by verbal gymnastics, but by consistent, principled action, guided by an inner sense of purpose. These 7 phrases, when applied with serenity and firmness, will compel anyone to treat you with greater respect and consideration. Remember, respect isn't imposed by force, it's inspired by character.